not making it work.
No! Wait!
Huh? Isn't fashion supposed to be for everyone?
That behatted boy is right. Fashion was never meant to be an inherently elitist form.
We need to return fashion to its utilitarian roots. Give it back to the people!
Bravo! He is making it work.
Hello. There's a lot of theories for why BoJack Horseman uses animals instead of humans for some of its characters, and one that makes a lot of sense to me is race. You know, BoJack isn't a white celebrity or a black celebrity that has to deal with, you know, the complications of what that means in the industry. He's just a horse. Almost all of the Hollywood execs that we see are animals, so there's no discussion about the cultural or racial background of the people that run the media industry. All of that is kind of just passed by. There's a lot of talk about, you know, sex and gender in it, but the race element isn't really discussed.
They don't want this to be just another superhero movie. They're looking for someone who can make a superhero movie with a twist.
So, what, they want me to pitch the twist?
No, the twist is that it's a woman.
Does that mean that the creators of BoJack Horseman, you know, aren't good at approaching this topic? No. Yes. I gotta talk about this. We started watching the new show from the BoJack Horseman, you know, team, a long story short, and there's a part in the second episode. All of it's very boomer coded, I guess, you know, kids these days. There's a black character who's scared to go to her girlfriend's hometown because she doesn't want to deal with the racial tension there. One, from racist people, you know, towards her. It's a very not minority inclusive environment. And then also towards people that are too inclusive and treat her differently because she's black.
I bet he's telling his wife he just saw Beyonce.
The solution to that is just reinforcing the idea that she wants to be a mom because mothers are often ignored in society and by their kids, I guess.
Oh my god, now Jeff is mad at me.
Quick, send nudes.
Whose nudes? My nudes or someone else's? No, nudes. Give me phone back, I need.
Girls, I remember what it's like to be 16.
We're 12.
I got my period when I was 8.
Don't send nudes.
Whatever, Mom.
I'm not your mom. Oh my god. When you're a mom, you're invisible.
That is so funny. It's 1970. I hate my wife. That's hilarious. BoJack Horseman just doesn't talk about race a whole lot, but they do talk about it once in a way that I think is just really clever. It has to do with Todd Chavez. When I first watched this show, the idea that Todd Chavez is a white man it just didn't really click to me a whole lot. It's not something that I ever really thought about because he's just Todd, you know, he's funny. Things kind of just work out for him. He's really good-natured at the end of the day, but he's also, you know, kind of a dumbass. And if I'm honest, when I watched the show for the first time, I spent a lot of it feeling like, I want to be like that guy. I want to be this carefree sort of dude who doesn't care all that much about how much money I have, who doesn't care all that much about, you know, the material things of the world. Someone that just wants friends, wants to be a good person, wants to make his family proud of him. Just lives well, you know what I mean? One thing that was just completely missing to me until it was like explained directly was that he's white.
Nothing came easy for me. It took hard work, focus, discipline to get me where I am today. Things didn't just work out. But I should have realized. You're white.
I forgive you.
You know, Todd just kind of floats around, and one thing that is implicit in that is his ability, you know, to float around. His ability to not have his resume double-checked or overlooked because of a name on it. And obviously, you know, it's a cartoon. I can already anticipate some of the comments on this video, you know, it's not that deep. Yes, it's a cartoon. Yes, it's hyperbolic. Yes, it's that deep. Because it's animation, every choice is specific. They didn't pick Todd Chavez to be a white guy because, well, they like Aaron Paul and that's just the good actor that fit. No, Aaron Paul's the voice, but they could make him look however they wanted to. They chose not only to not make him an animal, to make his race known, but to make him a white guy. It's It's built into the structure. It's not an accident. The creators of BoJack, like I said, I don't think they wanted to get too far into interracial discussions in America. They're not necessarily judging Todd for the way that he is. All it is this man looking at Todd and saying, things are coming easier to you because of the way that you look. You're able to be ignorant because you're privileged in a lot of ways, systemically in America. Something else that I think this moment does, really smartly is hit on the idea that privilege is inherent. When the idea, especially of white privilege, comes up, that kind of guy chimes in with, well, that can't be real because I don't feel privileged. Rent's not getting paid, can't afford groceries, the wife took the kids, whatever. And this moment, whether Todd realizes it or not, this moment makes it clear you do have advantages because of the way you look. Whether you recognize those, whether you even appreciate those, they're part of what comes with being white. It's not something that you accept or take advantage of all the time. It's something that is just there. That doesn't mean you can't take advantage of it, obviously, but just because you don't notice that it's there, doesn't mean that it's not there. And even outside of like a racial sphere, that ignorance is 100% a choice, right? I don't worry too much about what's in food because I can buy whatever food I want. Great, you can buy the organic stuff, you can buy the fresh shit. There's people that can't. And when low price food is being made with stuff that is toxic, they don't get to look away from that because that's what they've got. Your ability to step away from that can be, and most likely is, directly tied to your ability to not worry about it. Is Todd ignorant because he doesn't care, or is Todd ignorant because he lives in a society where, well, he's allowed to be? What I think the creators of BoJack are saying, especially with race, but with other issues as well, is your ignorance is a privilege. That's the title. Your ignorance is a privilege. You can look at the world the way that you do because there's parts of the world you don't have to look at. And I think that's so important. It's an idea that doesn't just apply here either. It also applies, with gender in the film industry.
But the difference is this one's about a lady superhero, which means this one you could actually get hired on.
I don't want them to hire me just because I'm a woman.
Ugh, you think Justin Kenyon says I don't want them to hire me just because I'm a man? Of course not. He says money, 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 nom, nom, nom.
The dudes aren't worried about what their movie's saying or if their movie is part of a movement because they're not expected to be part of a movement. They're not a token. They're not a diversity hire. They're hired because they do movies and they don't have to concern themselves with everything else the way that Kelsey Jennings does.
Get that money. Nom, 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 nom.
So it's just such a tiny moment that I think comes from this very genuine spot and idea from the BoJack creators. Your ignorance is a privilege.